Bardsley was speaking on breakfast and he told them how he found out that he'd been released.
He was actually on the players' group chat. Yeah. Wow. I had a little day out with a wife away from the kids while I was away in Spain. And I was in a beach club and a link goes into the group chat. Not that I check my phone all the time when I'm out socialising, but so my phone pings, so I checked my phone and there's a little link and clicked on the link and it was obviously the players that are being released by Burnley, which was quite strange to be honest, but I sort of forgot about it because I was having such a good time.
And that's how he finds out he'd been released?
Right, so he knows his contract is running down.
You're not going to stand up for Burnley here, are you?
No, I think there's probably more courtesy in letting him know before he reads it on a group chat or comes out on social media or via Sky Sports. But he knows his contract is running out on June the 30th. What he expects then is, whilst he's on holiday, is for someone to be chasing him, saying, what should we do with your contract? And to play 57 games over 5 years is some total of 11 games per year. I mean, let's get some context here about how valuable he may or may not have been to Burnley.
Does that matter?
Well, it does and it doesn't, because there is an expectation.
What does that mean?
Well, it does and it doesn't, because he's clearly not have been of that intrinsic value to Burnley, because he's made an average of 11 games per season, which is less than a third of the seasons every year. So he's been there for 5 years. His contract, he knew when his contract was expiring. What they want you to do is they want you to run after them.
Who's them?
The players.
Oh, I see.
They want you. It's like the situation with Mark Warburton and with us saying what's happening with Mark. Well, Mark must know what's happening with him, because he can quite easily pick up the phone to the owner and saying, is my contract being renewed or not? No. Well, then I want to know where I am. Right? This player, he wants a new. If he wanted a new contract and was interested in staying at Burnley, he could have quite easily got his ghastly little agent to pick up the phone to the chief executive and establish exactly where his contract situation was going to be. What he wanted was, he wants everybody to come running after them and say, right, well, actually, let us tell you where you are. If you're not that interested to find out for yourself, why should we be that interested in telling you?
No, but I mean, surely the word etiquette springs to mind here.
Okay.
And let me tell you what etiquette is. A customary code of polite behaviour in society amongst members of a particular profession or group.
Yes, there is a code of etiquette which is very really observed by the playing side, and it shouldn't.
No, but hang on here.
But it shouldn't mean
what Bardsley did nothing wrong.
It shouldn't mean that the employers shouldn't rise themselves to a higher level, right? So here's what the situation is. We know where we are, don't we? I signed a contract with you up until June the 30th, right? What do you think is going to happen on June the 30th? You know what's going to happen. If I haven't phoned you up and told you that we're going to get a new contract, then you know what's going to happen.
So is that what you employers want? Is that what the club wants? Leave him. Let him stew. He'll come to us to ask if we're going to renew it. We'll tell him we're not.
No, but what is so what you're saying is...
Let him stew out there.
In this deeply unpleasant world...
Etiquette.
What you're suggesting is that there is an element of... But everybody knows where they are, right? What you want...
Didn't.
Do you want an exit interview? I'm going to call you in, back from your holiday, because you're probably busy on holiday now, right? I want you to come in so I can give you an exit interview to tell you that you're no longer required.
But you had the same issue with Tony Mowbray, didn't you?
On what basis?
At Blackburn. Same kind of thing. His contract was expiring. It was you felt it was up to Mowbray to go to them. Why should it be?
Because I think it's stupid. If you know what your contract tells you, right? On June the 30th, I know that unless I hear otherwise, I'm out of contract. I know the answer. So I didn't hear otherwise. What I want, it's in the sort of going towards the Yaya Tory sort of, I didn't get a birthday card, so I should be upset. I know where I am. My contract says, I know as a big boy that my contract expires on June the 30th. If I haven't heard anything, then I must assume that I'm out of contract and I must find myself somewhere else.
Did you ever behave like Burnley here? Did you ever let a player totally stew?
But it's not about stewing. It's about attaching... What you're saying is there needs to be...
What is it about?
Well,
he didn't know.
No, but you're not listening. You're not listening. His contract expires on June the 30th.
Right.
No one renews it. He knows where he stands. What you expect is this ridiculous
He expects a conversation.
No, what you're making a case for him on, right, and what you're advocating for is this over-sentimentalisation of the fact that he doesn't know where he stands. He knows where he stands. He signed a contract that expires on June the 30th, 2022. If he doesn't hear anything else, what else does he expect?
So you would expect
what you're asking for is this nanny state of, please come in here.
No,
we love you and we valued you, but we don't know how we're going to get along without you. But as for Monday, we're going to try. Is that what you wanted to hear?
Why didn't he get a phone call?
Why should he?
Why shouldn't he?
Why should he?
He was one of their employees.
And the club honoured every single obligation it had with him, paid all his wages, paid everything that he was due,
and he honoured every obligation to them.
And the contract ends.
Did
he phone them up and say, "Listen, I'm really keen to stay"?
As an employer, is it not etiquette to get in touch with him and say, thanks for what you've done, but your contract, as you probably
I can
believe,
understand the argument.
is not being
I can
renewed.
understand the argument. But
Enjoy your holiday, blow up that Lilo, and have a good one.
I can understand that. But when we're in an industry that lacks one iota, one scintilla of etiquette, specifically on the playing side.
But
so
also
what you're
clearly
making,
from club to player,
what you're making,
as this shows.
But you're asking for something which is slightly ridiculous. What you want them to do.
You would want Bardsley to phone you if you were Burnley.
No, I wouldn't
Hi
care.
there. Listen, I'm about to set foot on a flight to Mallorca.
No, I wouldn't
Just
care.
to be clear in my mind, do you want me?
Yes.
That's what you want him to do?
Yes, that's what he should be doing. His contract's up.
A top player. Why should it not work the other way?
What you want?
Why shouldn't the call be made to Bardsley as he's sitting in row C on the flight to Mallorca?
Okay.
Phil, just to let you know, mate, thanks for everything, but we're not renewing. You probably guessed it anyway, but we're not. And we're doing this because it's etiquette to do it.
Yes, and I think there was an argument for that.
Thank you. Here's a break. Go on.
I think there was an argument for that. But what I'm not. But Burnley aren't coming on air saying, we didn't hear from Phil Bardsley, so we're really fed up that he hasn't tried to renew his contract. You've got a player coming on and going, woe is me. I'm on holiday and nobody phoned me up and said that we don't want you anymore. And it's awful. And I was there for 5 years and I knew when my contract expired, but nobody came round and sat down with me and braced me for the fact that I wasn't going to be getting £50,000 a week anymore. That's what you want.
Phil Bardsley, if you're listening,
nonsense.
join me at any time on floor 17 of the news building and we'll both give him a kick in the chuckies.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.